again. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on planet Earth. Welcome, fellow Earthlings. Okay, as promised, facts. Facts about the account called Duchess Drop Bear. Because I don't just put shit out there on the internet or make shit up. And if it's something that I don't know, I might say, well, I suspect, or I think. In fact, quite often when I suspect things, I don't say who I think it is. But in this instance, I think all of you are deserved of the facts. The fact is, I'd never heard of Duchess Drop Bear before. When Wally's channel was taken down, I made a video in her defence. During the course of the weeks, some subscribers came to me and said, I was sent here by Duchess Drop Bear. More than one of them said that. So I went over to look and check who Duchess Drop Bear was, and I saw that she had used little clips of Graham's videos and mine and were promoting our channels and making all the right noises about critiquing Meghan Markle, talking about the royal family. She was making all the right noises. Now, at some point, I think she was doing a live, she said to all the people on live, guess what my real name is, and eventually she said her real name was Penelope. Okay, so this person is an entity, okay, that we all know as Duchess Drop Bear, and that I and Wally came to know as Penny Warwick. The question at this end of this video is going to be, really, who is Penny Warwick? Or rather, what is Penny Warwick is the more important question. So we befriended her. She very quickly gave her home address to Graham and asked him to do a flight sim video flying low over her house, which we both thought was extraordinarily trusting. Sorry if I'm a bit sweaty today, guys. It's gone a bit hot again. Not as bad as it was before. Anyway, Graham did that. He did a flight sim video and he bombed her house, and she said she loved it. He found it very odd because a lot of people find his flight sim videos really boring. So his antennas were up straight away. But he just, you know my Graham, he's not exactly a dude who's in touch with his feminine side, but he does have instincts and he does have intuition. And he's a man of few words on those sort of subjects. Now at some point, I was already in touch with Wally before I met Duchess Drop Bear. We were already in touch through WhatsApp. Now Wally and I can't remember how Duchess Drop Bear came to know our WhatsApps. I can't remember if she'd already got in touch with Wally or if she'd contacted me and I'd asked Wally, do you want to talk to this girl? And it was me who put Wally in touch. We just can't remember. And that's a fact. But somehow we all ended up talking to each other on the WhatsApp. Initially, me and Penny and Wally. And then at a certain point, and I'm fairly certain it was Penny's idea, she said, let's have a group WhatsApp between the three of us. And she called it the OI group, OI. And so we chatted about all sorts of things, the royal family, Meghan Markle, all kinds of things. Wally and I took her at face value. We had no reason to doubt her. We had no idea who we were talking to or what we were talking about. Now, everything I said to her on the WhatsApp, or that I say to anyone on the WhatsApp, that's the kind of thing, it's the kind of shit I say to you guys right here, so no shockers there. But this person who called herself Penny Warwick, for a start said she had cancer. And again, we took her at face value. She said she had robotic thing in the bottom of her spine. She said a lot of her jaw had been cut away. Now, there's a couple of things on reflection. And these are not facts. These are my thoughts on reflection. I knew a guy in Lewis who had cancer of the mouth, and he'd had some of his jaw cut away, and he was incoherent. I'd see him in the newsagents, and he couldn't make himself understood. Now, I think you must all remember who remember the Duchess Drop Bear channel. She was extremely coherent. There was no sound of someone who's had a stroke, tongue problems, palate problems, lack of teeth. That there was nothing in the voice to indicate that a part of the jaw had been cut away. Now, my other thought also on reflection, because it's not the first time someone's told me they've got cancer and it's turned out they've nothing of the sort, but that's another story for another day. is the people that I have known in my own life who've had cancer. My mum died of cancer. My mother-in-law died of cancer, esophageal cancer. That was awful. When they're on chemotherapy, and any of you out there who've been on chemotherapy, you don't have a lot of energy, do you? It really hits you like a truck. Duchess Drop Bear had a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Now, also looking back, during our chats on the group chat, she never really said very much about herself. She said she had a son and a daughter, but she didn't really talk about herself. She was harvesting and cultivating a friendship with Wally, and secondly with me. And what she gleaned was very little from me. There's been lots of stabs. Oh, got to find that chink in the armour. Chink, chink, chink. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I look like a dude, I'm a criminal, I'm still on the run for fraud, I'm going to be arrested any minute, I'm running a drug smuggling ring, but I'm really poor and I'm begging Sarah Dates for money, and I'm trying to sell, and I'm trying to sell information to Boozy, and she's trying desperately, this entity, to find a chink in my armour, and she just can't find it. She can't find it, and she won't either. As my subsequent videos in the future, you'll get to know the kind of pressure that I've lived through in my life, and then you'll think, my God, no wonder the girl didn't give much of a fuck about YouTube. So she wasn't getting anywhere with me. I think she felt that she was, because, you know, when you're sociable, you say, oh God, I really hate that and I hate that. But I never really revealed. Whereas Wally, on the other hand, Wally's quite vulnerable, I think, and she does open her heart up, and she did open her heart up to Penny. And she told Penny some pretty personal things. I don't know what she told her in their private group, but by the time we were on the group WhatsApp, we were all treating it more or less as if we were talking directly to the other people. Now, there is a video that's come up on Rumble about Wally today. I'm not going to advertise it or put a link, because it is the most disturbing thing I have ever seen on the internet. Now, I'm not talking about the actual contents of the video. Any of you watching it would probably be horrified and just think, what a nasty piece of work to make a video like that. And it really is. Anybody, even someone who'd come along, if you sat someone down and said, I want you to watch a video about Yankee Wally, and they said, who's Yankee Wally? Never heard of her. Never mind, just sit and watch it. Even a total stranger watching that would say, fucking hell, what kind of a psychopath made that? She is literally giving away more than she intends through her bitterness, her anger, and her rage. I mean, it's pure rage. There's another channel on YouTube, which I'll come to in a minute, which I think you're all aware of anyway. And anyone who doesn't know what this is about, I'm really sorry. It's a long story, and I will have to let the others fill you in on it, because I really am so busy. I have not got time. I do read all the comments, but to explain the whole story in each comment with one thumb is quite lengthy. Now, I did a live a few weeks ago in which Wally was a guest, and because I wanted to be friends with Wally and Penny, Wally got very, very angry with me and thought that I had said something which I hadn't. I don't grasp. She sent me some really angry WhatsApp messages, and then after a day or two she thought about it and thought, I'm not sure about that, and that's all smoothed over, and it was all stuff to do with Duchess Drop Bear. And I think that was rather the point of the Duchess Drop Bear account and the Penny Warwick Oi group, was to drive a wedge between me and Wally, and it almost succeeded. Not from my part. I mean, as soon as Wally came back to me and said, I think I got all that wrong, I'm sorry, I said, no problem. And then we started to compare notes. If anything, it's strengthened the friendship. And Wally was inexplicably attacked by some other people, and I think that they have fallen for this entity that called itself Duchess Drop Bear, Penny Warwick. Now, before I did the live, because I considered Penny a friend at that time, and I actually did videos sticking up for her. I thought she was being bullied. I thought she was someone with cancer. I thought I'm going to level with her. I said I am in touch with Wally, because when Wally sent me the angry messages, that did hurt, because it always does when it's someone you care about. If it's someone you don't care about, it doesn't matter, does it? It's water off a duck's back. And because it was a few days before Wally came back to me and said I'm really sorry, I ran straight into the arms of Duchess Drop Bear, and I said terrible things about Wally. And she was saying, Wally's a con artist, Wally's this, Wally's that. And I was like, really? Really? Do you think we've been sucked in? Really? Oh, yeah, I was there. So I think there's a lady out there called Lottie. Lottie, think long and hard why you're angry with Wally, how that came about. Anyone else out there, think long and hard. I assume Duchess Drop Bear recorded every word that I said. If she ever puts recordings up of WhatsApps or recordings of me, I will sit down and analytically go through every single word with each and every one of you. And if I have said it and it is unedited and in context, I will say, yes, I did say that at that time in a private conversation, because this was how I was feeling. If she has edited our voices, which I deeply suspect, that's what she's going to do. And even another YouTuber who has been in touch with her by WhatsApp said, well, I only sent her a couple of WhatsApps. I pointed out to that YouTuber, you are a prominent YouTuber. You've got lots of videos out there. Your voice is all over the place. She can use any of our voices. She could edit it all together. She could make one YouTuber sound like they're calling another YouTuber a twat, and another YouTuber responding. And as I understand from people who do Twitter, she's already trying to do that, get one YouTuber against another on Twitter. So I would urge all YouTubers, I'm sure you're all much more savvy than me and you already know, be very, very careful. If you get malice from another YouTuber, just double check. My advice would be contact that YouTuber and say, did you actually say that? Look at what she tried to do to Sue Smith the other day, by making up a Sue Smith parody and then going around insulting everybody. And Sue was on it. She was on it so fast. Or her friends. I think some of her friends were so quick on it. Let her know. She was straight on the phone to me. That's the way to deal with it. Nip it in the bud. And what we are dealing with here, guys, and I'm not saying this lightly, we are dealing with a psychopath. And I say that after having seen the Rumble video that she did on Wally today. As I say, the contents in itself is not shocking. It may make some of you angry, but it shocks me, and especially Wally, because it is, if Wally wasn't 100%, this is Penny. Oh, she is now. Because we were all, I remember those WhatsApp conversations, and there are little intricacies. The majority of the content is bullshit. But she knows where the nasty little intricacies are. She has used members of Wally's family that Wally loves dearly to hurt Wally, to attack Wally. This is a vindictive, spiteful, sick person. This is someone who needs to be on antipsychotics or may already be in some sort of an institution. And the doctors and nurses have given them a tablet or a device so they can play games or something, and they are unaware that this Norman Bates type character is on YouTube trying to create a lot of damage. Now, so I messaged Penny the night before and I said, I'm friends with Wally again, and she came back at me with a load of abuse. Oh, you said you'd never be friends with her, which I did. I said, no, I believe you. I won't know if she ever comes back and says sorry. I said, no, I'm not going to get bitten twice, which I didn't, because what Wally said made sense, and she's lovely, and Penny's not, and never was, actually very nice on reflection. And I said, and what's more, I'm doing a live tomorrow with her, and I just wanted you to hear it from me. I thought I was doing the decent thing. Well, she went fucking apeshit. And then threats came from Montecito Royale. I emailed Montecito Royale a couple of times, saying, would you be a moderator? And then I got these literally savage rages back. And as soon as I read them, I realised that Penny is also Montecito Royale. There were threats in those emails, which I think Molly read out. I straight away phoned Wally and said, oh my God, Penny is Montecito Royale. Who the hell are the lawyers? And then it came out during the live that Wally had never actually spoken to her lawyer, seen her lawyer's face. She subsequently asked the lawyer for a copy of her file. Nothing's come through yet. It was Duchess Drop Bear, Penny Warwick, who introduced the lawyer, endorsed the lawyer throughout the whole process. No matter how many of you out there said, "Are you sure it's a real lawyer?" I never checked because Wally's a big girl. I thought Duchess Drop Bear's arranged it all. I asked Wally many times, "Are you sure the lawyer's real?" Yes, yes, yes. But she never told me she hadn't seen her face or heard her voice. So if I'd known that, I would have looked into it. And I thought, well, if the lawyer's not charging her any money, what harm is it doing? It can't hurt, which I don't think it has actually done any damage. I hope not, but I don't think it will have done any damage. But again, I think it was more of a harvesting exercise. This is someone who hates Yankee Wally and has hated Yankee Wally for a very, very long time, long before Duchess Drop Bear came along. This is a psychotic psychopath. This is a dangerous person. Okay. So we did before the live, I got the threats from Montecito Royale. Don't you dare do the live. Don't you dare. And then I got threats from an account called The Master Link saying, don't you dare do this live or mention Duchess Drop Bear, Montecito Royale, or the lawyers. I got a screenshot of it. They deleted the comment, but I got a screenshot because it was in my notifications. And I think I read that out at the beginning of that live. So I realised at that moment that she was all three. I mean, you see these sort of crime shows, don't you, where you've got some sort of serial killer and they fool teenagers into thinking there'll be one person pretending to be, half a dozen people in a chat room. And they lure them out to a place in the dark and they get murdered. I've seen shows like that. So I then also during live, she sent a copy of that Mickey Mouse check, and it really started to fall apart for her there. And she said to me, one of her closing words was, "I'm gonna do a review of all the Megxit accounts. You lot are worse than Boozy. In fact, who needs Boozy and the Sugars when you've got all this lot, just a bunch of bitches. I'm gonna tell everybody about the murky side of Megxit." Ring any bells, anybody? Oh dear. Then this toxic YouTube channel, for the life of me, how YouTube can take Yankee Wally down and not this psychopath is beyond me, has gone on to create trolls to defend Duchess Drop Bear. I've seen screenshots people have sent me. "Oh, poor Duchess Drop Bear's in hospital having chemotherapy. It wasn't Duchess Drop Bear. Oh, I didn't get that WhatsApp message from Duchess Drop Bear. I got it off Twitter." How did you know it was a WhatsApp message? Oops, there have been lots of slip-ups. Lots, haven't there? And then more WhatsApp messages. Oh dear. And so we did the live, and everything really went sort of quiet until Yankee Wally's sister's channel went up. Now, as far as I know, the messages Wally sent me were harsh. They were really harsh. Trust me, she's a tough lady. I'm not aware she ever said anything to Duchess Drop Bear, Penny. She never did anything to her. I think the last message she sent her was, "I wish you well." And while I was friends with both of them, Duchess Drop Bear was like, Wally's a criminal. Wally's going to get us all arrested. Wally. And then Wally would say, how's Penny doing? And I'd just say, "Oh, she's fine. She's not feeling very well. Just give her some space, Wally," to be discreet. So Wally had no idea. There were other YouTubers the girl's obsessed with, absolutely hate. As far as I know, they've never done anything to her. I can't see that, according to Taz, it's ever done anything to her. Sue Smith, certainly not. Far from it. Sue actually tried to give her bloody good advice like me when we thought she was a normal person and just say, "Look, you're obviously a very thin-skinned person. Calm down. So what? Someone called you a name on Twitter like one fucking time. Try dealing with the shit that everyone else deals with on a daily, hourly basis." And I thought she was just vengeful. But no, this person is a psychopath. And what's more, they're incredibly thin-skinned. There are reasons that people become psychopaths, as far as I know, 2 reasons. One is they have suffered terrible trauma in their lives, and they've had, it's a recipe of things that go wrong in their life, and they ultimately end up becoming a psychopath. And the other is they are born with a brain deformity, and I think that what we're dealing with here is the latter. It's the latter. I don't believe for a second this creature's name is Penny Warwick. I don't believe for a second this creature is Australian either. I don't believe the cancer. I don't believe any of it. Okay. One lady today on my previous video questioned and said, will what I'm saying now be actual facts? And someone else sort of growled at her a little bit, but she's quite right. Question everything. Now, I put my face, my name, where I work, where I live. You know everything about me. That's so you know what you're dealing with. But a lot of these people, and I do support and applaud anonymity on the internet, because that's how you guys keep yourselves safe. You know, you don't all want to be a natter like me and put yourself out there. But it does, unfortunately, offer the opportunity to these kinds of sick, dangerous people on the internet to take advantage. They can pretend to be the opposite sex. They can pretend to be from one particular nationality or another. They can use voice changers. Now, what actually makes me feel sick is I am 80% certain I know who the real psychopath is behind the whole Duchess Drop Bear Penny Warwick account. I'm 80% there, but that's not good enough for me. I've got to have facts, and if I do get facts, you will be the first to know. But this person is a person of great resource. This person, I believe, is female. A very, very sick individual, a very dangerous individual, actually far more dangerous than I ever would have imagined. Vengeful doesn't even come into it. It doesn't even come into it. I mean, we're looking at a person who, they do say that serial killers start off by killing animals, you know. We're looking at that kind of level. That kind of level. She's sick and twisted. And I also notice that Christopher Boozy hasn't made a mention of any of this on his Twitter, so I don't think he's involved in this at all. He might know about it, but I think even he, I like to think even he is like, yikes, this is so too yucky for me. I mean, Scobie hasn't said anything, Ellie Hall hasn't said anything. This is like the worst of the sugars, the worst behaviour, and if that is the type of breeding ground that the supporter camp of Meghan Markle can create, that's very, very dangerous. I've never heard anybody in the Megxiteer community be like that, do anything that malicious or spiteful or awful. I mean, in their personal life, they must have so many problems. They cannot possibly have any real friends.